See when the shit hits the fan, and see when there's issues that we're being raising with you, that there's serious issues in terms of major generic flaws that could potentially cost us more money as taxpayers or delay the project, then yes, you should be taking a hands-on approach. And you shouldn't be relying on documents that we may or may not have. You should have all of them at this stage. You should be asking the board, why did you ignore this in May? Why did you ignore this in October? Why did you ignore this in November when you got the letter? Why did you just carry out the test in March? And the first test is about whether it was installed correctly, which nobody ever disputes. The second test is, does it work? Which it failed. That's why 2 months later, stop order, go into conclave and try and figure out how we deal with this issue. And see the lines that you are given. There is no design change to the rooms. Of course there's no design change. Nobody knows how to fix it at the minute. That's why the workshops are taking place. Do you not accept that? Or are you really telling me that you're in the dark in this, that you've got your head in the sand, and that you have not looked for any of this documentation in relation to what is really going on in terms of this project?
There's nobody suggesting there's a problem, Deputy. There's a design.
Let me just stop you there. You have acknowledged that they're experts in one area, which actually probably is, shows that that's where their expertise are in terms of design flow and airflow and ventilation. You said nobody's suggesting that there's a problem. They are suggesting there's a problem. They've told Children's Health Ireland that there's a problem. So do you accept that the experts have identified what they call as a major generic fault in the operating theatres, Minister?
I'll do it. Will I take that?
Can I ask the Minister? Because, as he said earlier on, he is the person who is politically accountable. He's the person who leads this department. And I want to know what role you have taken in relation to this, or is it a hands-off role?
Thanks, Deputy. Well, as I'm sure you appreciate, and I honestly don't say this in an effort to be glib. I genuinely don't. As the Minister for Health, I don't inspect the airflow or look at technical reports on the airflow within individual operating theatres, nor would you expect me to, right? And I know you're not suggesting that I would be involved in the design of a hospital to the level of the airflow parameters within an individual operating theatre.
The problem here is you have the experts coming in May saying this is going to fail, the vents is in the wrong place, the board continued to build, all the electrical stuff, all the mechanical, all the oxygen, everything's in there now. Right through the centre of these operating theatres where the vents are supposed to be. And the buildings, the rooms are complete. And in October when they land, including when the company who's actually installing this is there, they walk off. They walk off site and they say, "These aren't listening to us. This is going to fail." And they point out that there was issues in other theatres in other areas where there was similar issues, and if you don't deal with this, it's going to cost you money and it's going to cost you delays.